Well, my opponent is pretty quick on moves. He sent me an email here early this morning, but I've had a lot of things to do today, so I've not been able to get back to it. But we were able to sit down here for a little bit and see what goes on with the second communist move in our game. Now, one thing I want to say right off the bat is I forgot to take this insurgency marker off. I should have did that at the end of the turn. I think that's why he didn't want to put an insurgency marker on his unit the other time, because he said that it really was useless. But I wanted to put it on there anyway, just to, keep me in mind that those units could have moved again. Another thing I wanted to make a little note on at the end of after I noticed it is I should have attacked. I should have moved these guys here, and attacked in this hex. So I should have moved them here and attacked. It would have been a 3-to-1 attack. I mean, there might have been a chance that I might have taken a hit, but I could have definitely gave these guys a hit, step loss, and had them retreat one. So that was a big mistake on my part. But it is what it is. Another thing I want to take another look at is, I don't know if you guys can see this on a computer, but I think this is an overlay of a photo of a map. It's got these crease marks in here, and I don't know, it don't show up that well on this screen, but on my screen it really looks like somebody took a picture of the map, and which is great. That's the way to do it. Like, I don't know if that's the way every Vassal mod is, but yeah, this guy just took a picture of the map and put these parts on here. All right, well, it's his turn, and before I do his turn, I'm gonna kind of think to myself, what would I do if I was in his shoes? I'm gonna check this out real quick. We'll be right back. All right, well, initial impressions, and I haven't gone through all the numbers or anything, but and we'll see what his strategy is. It's kind of cool we'll see what happens here in a second, because I got his vlog. But I would just surround me, Huh. The only bad thing on his side is my entrenchment acts as a supply source, so he can't cut me off with supply. And I got these guys right next to him, so we're unsupplied here, boys and girls. Yeah, and there ain't really much of a choice for him to do. Is just surround me and hope he can start whittling me out. But the bad news for him is I'm going to start using this unit. Now, if he surrounds me, I'll have to come up with some kind of I might have my hands tied as to attacks. I'll have to pick and choose. So it might be the winner of this game is the one who can be more creative with his attacks, with the soak-off rule and stuff. So I guess it's just going to be a game of attrition on these little bitty skirmishes back and forth. We'll see when we do the vlog. Or will he go after my civilian military assistance helicopter and my supply source, which really, like I said, there's no points for it. So we'll go ahead and move on up here. Now, do I have this thing maxed out? Yeah. On the screen. Here we go. Off board. Huh. Well, and another thing is, before we get too far here, it was an easy move. I mean, he's probably scratching his head thinking I'm a dumbass because I didn't attack this U-manned unit. But there wasn't much to it, so can't be too much. Let me see. Protest of my move. It was pretty basic. Like I said, the only thing he's probably doing is scratch his head when I'm such a dumbass. I do see this first thing on here that says off board, and he'll probably take my insurgency marker off. Let's see what happens here. Game turn 2. Oh, he just moved the marker to game turn 2. Okay, I guess I need to remember to do that. Yeah, I need to remember to do that. So maybe I'm playing the designer of the game here. Guy's name ain't Mark, is it? Just checking, you elected not to establish supply link. Place supply loss during your reinforcement phase. Huh. All right, here you go. This is gonna be a question here. Supply link. Place supply source in Las Vegas during your reinforcement phase. Okay, well, he needs to know that the entrenchment itself is a supply source, so we'll be right back. All right, well, maybe I'm not understanding his question, but I want to make sure you're all seeing this here. Supply sources, Allied supply sources, CIA, FDN, and ARDE entrenchments. Guatemalan, Honduran, Salvadoran, and Costa Rica supply sources. Yeah, I mean, it says here that entrenchments are a supply source. Just checking, you elected not to establish the supply link. Place a supply source in Las Vegas during a reinforcement phase. So I'll look that up. But I got a supply source. in Las Vegas, because the entrenchment right here says, unless I'm not reading it right, and it could be me, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. Allied supply source, CIA entrenchments. Yeah. Guatemala, Honduran supply sources. Allied supply source markers, Allied supply source depot. Can use captured air facilities for supply. Captured undamaged Nicaraguan coastal ports for supply. I mean, shouldn't be any question. I will look that up though underneath reinforcement phase. We'll be right back. All right. Now, the thing of it is, I think I'd make a good lawyer. We'll see what happens with this one. The guy's kind of got a point, but I think he missed something on here that's really important. It says, under the reinforcement phase, if the FDN or ARDE, and I think this ARDE must have been a lesser group. I don't really hear too much of them. We hear a lot of the FDN. I don't know much about my history. It's just what I heard back in the day. If the ground units control an airfield... All right, let me start over because I don't know how to talk. If the FDN or ARDE ground units control an air faculty in Nicaragua, key, circle that, an Allied supply source may be placed in the hex. There you go. All right, he says, just checking, you elected not to establish a supply link, place supply source in Las Vegas during your reinforcement phase. All right, Las Vegas is right here. All right, if you see the border goes, and it's hard to see here, it goes up here, down here, around here, and over. So this technically isn't Honduras, so I can't do that anyway. And it's a entrenchment or supply source anyway, so he's wrong. I'm going to let him know that, and we'll be right back because I have an email to make. Be right back. All right, well, I just wrote him back. And I don't want to give away his email address or anything, so this is going to be quick. But basically, I told him the airstrip he's right on the rule, but it's got to meet the criteria of being in Nicaragua, and the airstrip is in Honduras. I go, plus I informed him that entrenchments are already supply sources. I don't know. He probably knew that, but I'm not sure. But there you go. I won't move no more until I get his response back. Be right back. All right, then we'll rate his response, but I want to show you here. Here's the border. Las Vegas is right here in the tip. I don't want to move the units because then it'll reflect it on the vlog. But yeah, his base camp. If I had hats off to him. I did not know that rule, but and I just looked at it. If I controlled one of these, well, we could pick this one here. If I controlled this one, I could use it as a supply source at the beginning of a reinforcement phase. That is something to definitely note. We might not get to it in this scenario because this just takes place in mostly Honduras. But yeah, that airstrip is in Honduras, not Nicaragua, and that's one of the criteria. And then I wanted to let him know that, in case he didn't know, he might know, that the entrenchment that was underneath there acts as a supply source. So, and I also told him I wasn't going to move the vlog until, because that might change his whole way of thinking, and things might be different. So we'll give him that leeway. So there you go. We're on pause here in the game until I get an email back. And this guy's pretty quick, so he might have it back already. We'll be back. All right, well, he wrote back, and he said he didn't know that the entrenchment was a source. And I guess he didn't know that the airfield was inside of Honduras. So we are all good and good to go. I will go ahead and advance this vlog. I don't know how much I'm going to get done because it's getting dinner time, and I want to go upstairs and whip me some magic. Tonight we are having Italian beef gyros. Oh, I'll tell you, it's good stuff. All right, let's go ahead up here. We will advance and see what happens. Reserve marker was removed, and the end of reserve movement phase. Yeah, get rid of that sucker. Sorry about that, sir. U.S. Night Naval bombardment phase. Supply phase. Oh, now does he have to establish supply now? Huh. Well, obviously, with the supply source being right here in the big green, everybody is good to go. So we ain't worrying about that, I don't think. Supply okay for all. Yes, sir, it sure is. Move on. Communist ground air stage. Ground unit reorganization phase. Now, will he get a chance to... No, nobody's been reduced. So he don't have to do anything there, I don't think. We'll see what he does. Guerrilla attack phase. Okay, we'll see. He's just advancing on through because there's nothing happening. In the basic game we got going on here, in the intermediate game and stuff, we'll be having all kinds of other participation with those phases. But right now, we will skip those. Regular unit ground movement phase. This is where the rubber meets the road. Let's see what he does. And like I said, I would surround me and just attrition me, but we'll see what goes on. No regular moves. Wow. No regular moves. Know your enemy. Know your enemy. But it's just basic, military strategy. Oh, the old boy's sitting out there. I gave him a joke, and he wrote it back, and he told me, he goes, well, I think this unit here is legal because, they only have to fight if they're in a town. It was a joke. I know that this is a village. You don't have to do nothing with that village. And I told him, I said, well, I got reports that your 50th O2 Infantry Brigade has crossed the border into Honduras. I go, either pull back or suffer the consequences. And I put a laughing out loud. And he wrote me back saying, well, I think everything's legal. I told him, I go, well, that one went right over your head, dude. Sorry about that. It was a joke. I know your move was legal. Like I said, these are just villages and they don't have nothing to do with it. Now, if he moved into Nicaragua and wanted to stop at a city or port or town, he'd have to fight. But other than that, that's about it. No regular movement. He's not going to move his regular unit, so we'll see what goes on next. Communist ground and air stage insurgency movement phase. Pull back so we can all see what goes on together. All right. I think he can move 4 no matter how many hexes. Is that correct? That is correct. So there's 1, 2. Nothing else is going on there. Let's go again. Ground combat phase. Okay, I think we got something going on here. We've gotten, and I'm going to have to take a break here. We won't be able to do this right now, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus a 3. See, that's what I mean. Keep these guys together. He won't be able to get too much. That's a, what's he got? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. Yeah. 5 versus a 3. Man, if I could have pulled back on this river, he would have suffered, but I think he could have surrounded me anyway. So I really want to use these rivers. I didn't do that, but that's a 1-to-1. All right, he might, and I cancel out his insurgency advantages, so this guy's up against it. Just wait till he gets a dose of that helicopter. All right, we're going to stop it here and find out the results of his combat. Oh, do I make this a video? Oh, man, a little teaser. Don't touch that dial. Coming up in the next episode, the results of the Nicaraguan assault. We'll be back.